It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of May 30th, 2003, with three new movies to look at. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. And we'll start off with a little film you might have heard of, you might have not. I mean, it did come out, and, nobody really expected it to do that well. I don't think it really did. I don't think it even led much of a lasting impact in the long run, over 20 years after its release. So let's go ahead and take a look at this little film that we have here. Clearly won't be remembered 20 years from now. And okay, I'm done playing this charade right now. You know exactly what this goddamn movie is. Finding Nemo. Was it the fourth or fifth film? Fifth film, because Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc. Yeah, fifth movie. And I mean, do I really need to say anything more about this movie? But let's just run down the plot real quick here. You have an overprotective clownfish named Marlin, played by Albert Brooks, who, along with a forgetful regal blue tang named Dory, played by Ellen DeGeneres, they search for his missing son Nemo, played by Alexander Gould, who along the way Marlin learns to take risks and comes to terms with Nemo taking care of himself and growing up. And really, like I said, there really is not much more about this movie that I have to say that hasn't already been said already. The big thing about this was that it was a massive hit. It was actually the highest-grossing animated film of all time at its release, breaking a record that had been held by The Lion King for almost 10 years, and then the following year got destroyed by Shrek 2 after that. But did go on to become the second highest-grossing film of the year, earning almost over $800 million worldwide. It spawned a sequel. Was nominated for 4 Oscars, including winning Pixar's first ever Best Animated Feature Oscar. And again, there's really not much more I can add to this movie that hasn't already been said already. It's just a film that just works on so many levels. It's a great movie with a great cast. You have a cast that also includes Willem Dafoe, Jeffrey Rush, Eric Bana. I'm trying to remember who else is in here. Vicki Lewis, Brad Garrett, Stephen Root. Just a lot of great talent in this movie. Elizabeth Perkins is in this film. John Ratzenberger, of course, you hear in there. Of course, is always in there. Barry Humphries as Bruce the White Shark. I mean, just memorable characters all around. Great animation. Underwater animation, too, looks incredible. A great adventure. A great coming-of-age story. I mean, again, there's just so much about this movie that really, I don't think I need to say too much more about it, because you know it's good. You know out there how great this movie is. I mean, it's a film that still holds up after all these years later, and led to a really good sequel that came after that, too, with Finding Dory. I mean, again, not much more I can say about this film that hasn't already been said already. It's a great film. I can't recommend it enough. I've seen it many times. You've seen it many times. What more do I gotta say? Finding Nemo. Just a great, great film. Yeah. Again, not much more I can add to that one that hasn't already been said already. But let's go ahead and move on to another film that came out that same day that actually was also really good too, and that is the remake of The Italian Job. God, I miss this old F. Gary Gray, the good F. Gary Gray, the one that actually made good movies and not the crap he's made the last couple of years. The Italian Job, inspired by the 1969 film of the same name, but this one has an original story to it where you follow a motley crew of thieves who plan to steal gold from a former associate who double-crossed them. Despite the sheer title, the plot and characters differ from the source material, and F. Gary Gray himself has even said it's just an homage to the original, and you have a cast that includes Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, Edward Norton, Jason Statham, Seth Green, Mos Def, and Donald Sutherland among the cast. It is a really damn good movie, and it does a great job of updating the original film without feeling like a direct copy of the original film, and that's really the best aspect of it. I mean, they take a lot of that original film and they took a lot of the original film and do something new and different with it. With this film, it still feels like it could exist in the same universe as the original film does, except it does something new on its own. And it helps to have a great cast led by Wahlberg and Theron, as well as Jason Statham and Edward Norton. Just a phenomenal cast, a lot of good action sequences in here, really well done action sequences overall from a guy that up to this point had not done a whole lot of big action sequences for a movie like this, and it just showed what this guy could do as a director of an action film, and he really does give it his all in here, and it just works so well. It's a better movie he made this year compared to Amanda Apart, and again, I miss this type of movie that this guy would make. I mean, nowadays, He's just making films that are just going to give him a quick paycheck. I mean, Fate of the Furious, Men in Black International, Lift, just movies that are completely devoid of his true talents as a filmmaker as a whole. But this film is great. They had been talking about doing a sequel for 20 years now, and honestly, I'm glad they never did it. I mean, this film just works well on its own. Plus, not everything needs a sequel. I mean, this thing was a hit. You could have easily made a sequel, but I'm glad somebody said, you know, after all this time, it's just not worth it to do another sequel to this, because this one just works up so well. And really, there's not much more you can really add to it that hasn't already been done already. But, again, not much more you can really add to this one. I mean, it's a great action movie. It's definitely one of the better remakes of an action film. It just works so well. I can't recommend this one enough. The Italian Job, definitely seek this one out. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here, and that is Eliza Dushku in Wrong Turn. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it definitely looks like a film we've seen done to death before, and it definitely is. I mean, it's a film where you have 6 people who are out in the woods where they shouldn't be. They're being stalked by a cannibal family in the woods of West Virginia, and that basically means that they're all going to die at some point, except for the one person that's going to survive. And you get that here pretty much, but people bought into it. It was a hit when it came out financially. It only got mixed reviews, which for a horror film back then was probably more positive than negative, honestly. To get mixed reviews on a film and be seen as somewhat of a hit. I mean, it doubled its budget and has led to many direct-to-video sequels, as well as a remake that happened not too long ago. And, I don't know. To me personally, it just kind of felt like another Friday the 13th clone. There's really not a whole lot there they do, per se, that's uniquely different about it, except for the story. It's a clever idea for a change of pace in the story department, but other than that, though, it doesn't really do anything for me, except for the fact that Stan Winston is behind it. He does a lot of the practical effects in here. He's one of the producers on here. I guess I'll give him credit for that, because that's the one thing that I think does carry the film over, just saying that it's not completely terrible. It's just kind of generic to me. I mean, it's had a lasting legacy to it. A lot of these people have gone on to become big stars. That's just my take on it. Not much more to say. Wrong turn. So with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we'll take a look at 3 new films to start the month of June 2003 off. I said 2023. 2003. But the big one, of course, being John Singleton directing the sequel to Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. We also have the gay comedy Mambo Italiano, which is certainly something to behold. We'll delve into that. We'll also take a look at Keisha Cashel Cruz's big screen debut in Whale Rider. We'll have 3 films to look at next time, and that'll be, of course, on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the plays on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And also, don't forget to, I'm eating a cookie while I'm doing this, so that's why I'm kind of swallowing while I'm doing this, but anyway, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel, hopefully with endings better than this one. I'm sorry, but okay, I'm getting out of here, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care. Good night.